G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing another episode of the AFL Q&A. I believe this is episode 4 already. Means the year's flying by so far. The fact that we're in middle of April already is absolutely unbelievable. Felt like it just turned over 2022 and all of a sudden we're 33% of the way through the year. So that's the way it goes. So guys, obviously put out the community post on the Sunday, and apologies for last week. Apologise for any harm that I've caused for any individuals out there. But at least we're on track this week. I haven't had a million extra things pop up on top of my normal week, which is already busy enough as it is. But yeah, I mean, I won't whinge about that. Guys, what I will do, make sure you are subscribed and also click on the bell so that you get notified when I put out these community posts, which come on Sunday nights. And then I'll do the video on Wednesday. So if you don't get your question in between Sunday and Wednesday, or when I do the video, obviously it may be delayed. So yeah, click that bell, click the subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on getting your questions answered. Let's start off with Luke. What has been your favourite and least favourite moments in the AFL this year, and the favourite game so far this year? My favourite and least favourite moments. That's a great question. I'd have to say my favourite moment would probably be our comeback against the Pies. Obviously 37 points down just before three-quarter time. And being able to sort of come back was great. Another favourite, I think, Zach Fisher's goal against the Tigers when the MCG absolutely erupted. A few of the fellas were there at that game, and yeah, good old Langs lost his voice as a result. So yeah, that was those were some really good moments. My least favourite moments probably more come down to upsets that I've tipped wrong. My least favourite AFL moment. I mean, it would be great if Buddy didn't kick his 1,000th against us. I can't say that's the least favourite moment. That's obviously going to go down in history as one of the all-time great moments. But I think, yeah, I can't really think of one that's least favourite. Probably disappointing how Port Adelaide have gone. Not that I have heavily vested interest in them, but yeah. Maybe Paddy Ryder getting a few weeks. Probably, I don't know about that. He kind of just braced for contact. He wasn't running. He was running towards Day, but then he stopped and then he braced for contact, and then because Day runs into him, he cops weeks. Yeah, some of those MRO decisions can be controversial and just make you go, well, yes, we definitely want to protect the head. Yes, we don't want concussions happening, but do accidents happen? Yes, they do. Can you prevent all accidents? No, you can't. I didn't really have one for least favourite moment, so let's give it some time. Favourite game so far this year? I reckon there's definitely been a few rippers. I've just been sort of scrolling through a few, and I don't see stacks of footy. You'd think I'd see every single game of footy known to man, but once again, not the case. But I would have to say, yeah, that Richmond Carlton game was probably one of my favourite games. Obviously, I love the clinic we put on Essendon, not putting any pressure on us at all. So I mean, from a Geelong standpoint, I love the Essendon game where we just looked like $1 million. But from a neutral perspective, going to the Richmond Carlton game, being there live was fantastic. Seeing the crowd raw, the Blues get it done in the middle, and Cripps put on a blinder, and yeah, Zach Fisher kicking that goal was it was pretty special. Where the Blues fans just they could smell the victory coming up as a result. With losing probably the last 10 occasions, or hadn't beaten a Tiger since 2013, I believe, or even 2012. So it's been a long time. 2013 it might have been in the final series. So yeah, that definitely is probably right there with my favourite game this year. Ins and outs, so sim to sim, we'll go with that. Ins and outs for the Cats this week versus the Hawks. Who's your favourite commentator in the AFL? I personally like both Eddie Maguire and Hudson. Ins and outs for the Cats. Normally, I wouldn't be. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the Brisbane game, mate, so this one's going to be tough for me. And to be quite brutally honest, I don't even know who's playing half the time. I don't look at the team sheet. Sometimes I might get around to seeing it before the game, but I actually, yeah, I mean, when Stewart and Selwood were out, I was pretty concerned. So I would say they would potentially come back in, and we might rest some other guys. So there's a few. Zach Guthrie might make his way out as a result of all that. But I mean, when you're playing well, it's hard to sort of move things around. I hope they don't bring and rush Radigali back in. I mean, ever since he went off, we played amazing football, and we are a better side without him in the side. It's okay if he's really good in 2024 or 2023, but they don't need to rush him back in. They've got Cameron, they've got Hawke, they've got plenty of capable smalls to sort of play, and sort of mid-sized players in that forward 50 to be dangerous. So yeah, and to answer your question, I generally think Selwood or Stewart probably make their way back into the side, all going well. But I actually don't even care who is playing, because what I care about is a side that's going to bring in maximum effort every week, and that's going to bring pressure, and it's going to move the ball quickly. Like, I care about that more than I care who's actually on the park. There are some players where if they're not playing, you go, oh, it's going to be pretty tough. But even still, you can see sides that don't really have much personnel on the park, but they are coached a certain way, or they just play with such spirit and play with such system that it seems to defeat any type of personnel you have out there. Obviously, you can't have 10 of your stars out, and a lot of teams rely heavily on their stars, but I don't get too upset with ins and outs, and I don't really get upset with changes that get made. They're out of my control, so I'll try not to read too much into it. I'll have a whinge, but yeah, that was a quite extensive answer, and gone on fairly long for just 2 questions, possibly 3. Who's your favourite commentator in the AFL? I personally like both Eddie Maguire and Hudson. I didn't even know if Eddie was still commentating, but he could be. I'm not a heavy Fox footy watcher. I love Hutto. Hutto's my favourite, probably of all time. Obviously, probably Hutto, then Dennis, then Bruce would be my favourite commentators if you're rating those. I love Hutto just because he's just got such a eloquent voice. He calls the big moments amazingly well, and there's no coincidence that so many of the great highlights of the game are with Hutto, because he just nails the moment every time. I love his Stevie Motlop, what a time call. Flashpoint, that was my favourite call of all time. Pretty big call, but huge fan of Hutto. Love the way he goes about it each and every week, and I hope he just keeps on keeping on. Ben Dalhouse is, not Ben Dalhouse, but Luke Dalhouse is playing much better this season, it seems. Maybe had a better preseason. Do you think he should be in the starting 22 every week? If he plays his role, and by play his role, I mean actually influence the game and provide that hit-up option, then yes, I think he should be in the starting 22 every week, but I don't think it's a cardinal sin if he goes back to the VFL if he has a couple of poor weeks. I think every player should be held accountable for holding their spot. You can't just give players games. But yeah, if they believe Francis Evans is playing better footy, or that they think another like-for-like player could perform the role and beyond even better, that would be great. I think Dalhouse is, again, his role is all determined by the ball movement and the pressure up the ground, especially ball movement. We've definitely found at times the last few years where he's probably hasn't been able to read the play as well as he'd like, and maybe that is off the back of slow ball movement. It's sort of easy for teams to defend. If we're playing with more of an attacking style, that might be more beneficial for the way Dalhouse and the Cats want him to play. So to answer your question short, yes, if he keeps playing his role to a high level, if all he has to do is apply pressure, hit up, lead, crumb, front and square, kick a goal or two. That's more than enough. Just don't get outmarked or, make a contest. That's all he has to do. Listed a few things, but he's more than capable. Braden, the holding the back rule and pushing the back rule are becoming farcical, in my opinion. Tyson, do you agree? So I'm guessing off that one, holding the man and pushing the back. Players are milking a little bit of the holding the man, and I don't think that one's changed significantly, although I haven't seen every single game. The pushing the back, yeah, I mean, it's 50-50. Even when a player has the ball, falls to the ground, and the player lands flat on his back, it's still a 50-50 call, which I think they're the most obvious calls of all time to be pushing the back. What I think you're referring to here is Tom Hawkins pushing the back on Harris Andrews, and I think that's probably an 80-20 split there. I think it's an 80% pushing the back. It's not always going to be absolutely perfect, and did Andrews milk it a bit? Not too sure, but if I, putting my umpiring cap on, and with 2020 vision and hindsight, I would like to pay that in the back. And if there's a follow-up question on did that cost Brisbane the game, well, no. Geelong had won by 10 points, and by 10 points, I mean they won by 10 scoring shots. They were better than Brisbane. They just didn't put it on the scoreboard. Had they gigged a couple more of those 10 shots that they missed, then it's probably a 4 or 5 goal game in all due respect. And then on the other hand, Brisbane were super efficient and barely missed. So, yeah, you win some, you lose some. Merck, which was the biggest upset from round 4? I reckon not many people would have seen. I reckon 99% of people would have tipped West Coast not to win. I should have been saying the Pies to win, but that was obviously huge. At Marvel, getting the job done there, not many pundits would have gone down that path, and I think everyone's tipping the Eagles bottom 4, which is probably that they're going down for sure, and they've definitely had a lot of injuries, a tough sort of pre-season, and then COVID just affect their preparation in terms of being productive in the 2022 season. So that would definitely be a big upset, I think, for mine. There was some interesting games. There's always upsets, as we know. I think Gold Coast was an interesting upset as well. I think not many would have... Well, they're pretty dangerous over there, but I reckon most would have been thinking Carlton will get the job done there. I think those are probably the main two that sort of definitely stuck out. I went a roughie with Hawthorn trying to beat the Saints, and then that one did not land too well, unfortunately. So, yeah. Shannon, for the final question, favourite players from the AFL? It's a very broad question. I've got a few more questions for your question. So you're talking about right now, historically for Geelong. You've obviously mentioned AFL there. One of my favourite players ever, Scott Lucas, actually. Love his left foot goal kicking marking prowess. He was absolute spearhead back in the day, and I still remember the one game where he kicked 3 super goals or 9-pointers, as they were called. I think against Brian Lake or Brian Harris, as he would have been probably known then. He was it was a star, and I loved the way he went about it, especially in some sort of tough times for the Bombers. My favourite cat of all time, Stevie Johnson, who obviously went to the Giants, but I just loved his silky skills, his tenacity, his mongrelness. I really loved it, and just his ability to kick freaky goals was just a pleasure to watch each and every week. My favourite cat player right now is Mitch Duncan. I just love his ability to kick the footy. He's really good up forward as well when he does sneak forward and kick goals. He's a beautiful set shot. More often than not, when he's super sharp, he's probably set up half of Hawkins' goals, to be honest, from his goal assists. I love, Tom Stewart probably behind Mitch Duncan for second. He's just super reliable, incredible mark, and just takes the game on, which I love. From the AFL, though, it's a really good question. I haven't really given it a great deal of thought across the competition. I mean, Tim Kelly, is quite exciting to watch. I tend to be more focused on teams as opposed to individuals. Nat Fyfe, obviously, a really great player to watch when he's in full flight. I'm quite a big fan of Robbie Gray. He's really exciting to watch when he's when he's fit and firing. I don't have too many from Melbourne right at the moment. Josh Kelly's a smooth mover. There's probably a few from Richmond. I'm just having a bit of a squiz around now. Rory Sloane's obviously a warrior and an admirable character, as we know. And I don't really like Sydney, so I probably can't think of anyone there. The Bont's obviously an amazing man. I feel like Brisbane, they've got a few players in there that I quite enjoy. I think definitely some dangerous players in there. But I haven't really thought about, across the competition who my favourite players are. But hopefully that gives you a good answer anyway, Shannon. Hopefully definitely got a bit of visibility into my, Cat's favourite players and historical favourite AFL player, Scotty Lucas, getting the job done. All right, guys, that's it. Those are all the questions for episode 4 of the Q&A. So, guys, as I mentioned earlier, subscribe away and click the bell so that you get notified ASAP when I do this community post, which will be on the Sunday night. And, get your questions in so I can waffle on for, over 15 minutes this time. 20 for the last episode, and, I just can't believe, I'll just find a way to elaborate a fair bit. So guys, make sure you do that, and thanks for all of your questions, and keep them coming on the community posts for Sunday night. So guys, thanks for your questions and for listening in on the video, watching, all that good stuff. As I mentioned, like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for sticking around, guys. I'll see you on the next video.